Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Intuitive Body and Soul. So we have been interviewing Nick DePompolis of Windham, New Hampshire over the last couple of weeks and months. So we talked him into one more, a part 3, okay? And Nick is going to demonstrate for us how he does his spiritual artwork. Okay, he's a starseed child, and very sure of who he is. He has a lot of information, and we're particularly excited about him because of his age, actually. And he's very young, and he's already learned a lot about intuitiveness and his role in it and in life and so on and so forth. So the way that I met him and found out what he's all about is that I was invited to one of his paint nights. So I did go, and he led us through a meditation, and then we kind of painted what we saw, or our interpretation of it anyway. So it was extremely cool. And of course, you know, we talked to him afterwards and said, well, gee willikers, we need to have him on the Intuitive Body and Soul. Okay, so he's very eclectic. He has a lot of interest and a lot of experience for his short time on this earth. Okay, so far anyway. We hope he lives a long and fruitful life, certainly. But today, joining us will be Melissa Morrison, who is not only my friend, she is the secretary of the Greater Havel Arts Association, and student Laurie Kelly, who's also a friend, and TIBS' very own Deborah Carpenter will be joining in on the demo. They'll actually be the ones who are meditating and painting. And I've also asked them to bring some of their previous ones in, and so hopefully we'll get to see. But this is my piece, okay? And what I did during the meditation is, you know, when Nick said, you know, kind of connect with your higher self, your spiritual self. You know, what do you see there? What I saw is myself, you know, trying to hold, you know, our world, our earth, in a good and sacred place through intuitiveness and energy work and out of care, obviously, and love and all that good stuff. So that was how I interpreted what I saw and what I felt. So today we're going to get a firsthand look at how Nick does his thing. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Nick and the rest of the team. Okay, well, I tried to get everyone to kind of be quiet, but you're going to have to put up with the noise. Here they are. Let me turn off my video camera. Ta-da. Okay, now I can't see what you see. Wait a minute, I take that back. All right, so this is the group.
Hello.
Everybody say hi. Hello. Okay, so that's Nick standing at the edge of the table there. And he's going to be directing everyone in the meditation and helping them achieve their artistic goals.
Yes.
Okay, so
the highest expression.
There is the highest expression. I love it. So there's our very own Deb Carpenter right there. And then Miss Melissa. And Miss Laurie. Where is she? Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. So being the wonderful video person that I am, God knows what you're going to see. All right. All right.
But pump it up like all that.
I was thinking that. I'm thinking if I can find a good vantage point, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So in the meantime,
Or I could even carry it around sometimes for you. Go around with it.
I was thinking I could carry it around and kind of see what people are doing.
Yeah.
So that would be okay too.
All right.
All right.
So do you want to start off with the meditation? I feel like that's what we should do to kind of like ground ourselves. Grounded and open ourselves up, you know. Yeah, that is very grounded.
She's grounded.
I just had a cookie. Oh, he's a Christian.
Okay, so everyone's getting quiet. Deb's eating. She's grounding herself with chocolate.
That's what is very grounding.
That one?
I can't. Thank you though.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So everybody just close your eyes. from your feet going deep down into the earth, through all the crystal passageways, all the way through down to the center of the earth, where you see a silver light in the center of the earth, a silver crystalline light. Drink up that silver crystalline light through the roots and all the way up the roots, all the way up back through the crystal caverns, into the feet. Bring it up to the knees. Bring it up to the thighs. Up to the root chakra, at the base of your spine. Up to your sacral chakra, your center of creativity. Up to your solar plexus, your willpower. And anchor the light in your heart. And then I want you guys to open your crowns to the universal consciousness. Imagine a gold vortex opening at the top of your head, reaching all the way up to the stars in the sky, and sucking all down that galactic energy. Drink it into your crown chakra. Breathe it down into your third eye chakra, for your sight, your vision. Bring it down to your throat chakra, where you speak your truth in your expression. And anchor that gold energy into the heart. Now I want you guys imagining a portal. Imagine a portal opening in the earth, maybe a stone circle, or a hallway in a forest. Anything that you can imagine that will take you to the other world of the Fae. The fairies, the gnomes, the dryads, the unicorns, druids, the elves. Picture what you're connecting with. Could be a creature you've never heard of or saw before. Just let it come to you naturally. Now picture this being in your mind's eye. Connect with this being. Open your heart. These are only high frequency beings, only from the highest and lightest frequencies, and they are here to help and guide us. Think of the colors that this being is wearing, or the color that's in its skin pigment, or its hair color, or its eye color, shapes. What is the energy of these beings? What colors do you see? What sensations do you feel? Take a moment to ground this moment into your consciousness so that you can channel it onto the canvas. Grounding into your consciousness physically. It's reality, it's real. Now you can slowly come back to consciousness, to an awakened state. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. How is that? Does anybody want to share any experience?
Color.
A lot of color. That's good. Mhm.
There's some blue in there, and they started off kind of small, like
Yeah.
crazy lights,
Yeah.
and then kind of grew and morphed as they kind of floated around. And I was looking
I love that. Almost like little like pixie or fairy orbs or something,
Yeah.
like flying about. Like
Yes.
I love that. Like meshing color and like I can picture it. Rays of light twisting and turning.
Yes.
Very interesting. What about you, Deb?
I saw, she was a little woman. She had
Oh,
white kind of hair.
yeah.
And her clothes looked like a mismatch of, like a
Patchwork?
patchwork. And she's very motherly, very loving. And she was looking at some flowers.
Yeah.
I like them.
I love that. Yeah, I do love that. What about you,
Now if I can only
Melissa?
draw it.
You
Joni,
can
help.
definitely draw it. You can definitely draw it. Yes.
Mine opened up with a lot of greenery and forestry
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And kind of as I went through, I saw a rainbow of sky. Just
Yeah.
Rainbow sky, which is really cool. And then just lots of like little beings.
That's cool. Yeah, just different creatures.
Yeah.
Like you were just in the realm.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like I want to see you capture the rainbow sky. Like that sounds in the greenery, you know, like even just the setting, like that in itself, that's the Fey realm, you know. You went into the realm, and I feel like we should just take these images because these are really good. These are really good concepts, you guys, and just ground them onto your canvas. So just kind of do the best you can to sketch out like little details and things that you want to work with the paint, but don't go into too much detail because it's just like a bare bone sketch just to get your idea out. Because I don't want you guys to spend the whole time drawing because you want to be painting most of the time. So I'm gonna set a timer for about 20 minutes.
As soon as I took it, I realized what I was doing. So while they are doing that, I want to share some of the pictures from the last paintings that we did with Nick. This is actually
Those are
Melissa's.
yours.
Melissa, this is yours. Yeah.
Yep.
Deb, did you bring yours, baby?
I didn't know.
Oh, okay. So this is Miss Melissa's. And this was what did we channel? Which
It was
one
our
did we-
higher self energy.
We're laughing because I have one of those cans that
It's just-
opens and closes
yeah.
automatically. It's just,
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's a little obsessed.
It's obsessed. Yes, yes. Possessed and obsessed.
I think technology goes wacky.
So,
The extraterrestrial energies is like
so we're
beautiful.
going
I
to-
love that.
Thank you, thank you.
The color palette is beautiful.
I actually, if I had been able to get it varnished and framed, and then it was gonna be. So
Oh my
it'll
God.
be yours eventually.
We can do an art trade, and now I'm gonna give you something
Ah,
too.
yeah.
Yes, you can hang it up somewhere. That's the best way to go about it. I'm gonna give you something too.
Okay,
A little
cool.
art trade.
I love it, I love it.
Yeah, art trade is
Okay.
nuts.
So we're going to kind of go around and help our amateur artists get their ideas onto their canvases. Okay, so we shall return to you very shortly, but we won't make you sit here and wait for us to do that. Okay, so most of the folks have drawings, and they're actually
Moving on
doing
to the
some
paints. All the colors for everybody. Melissa, can you talk a little bit about the rainbow sky and how it made you feel? Like, I want to know. I want to know what it means to you and like why this is so important in your painting.
I've just always really connected with rainbows.
Yeah.
So I think there's just like a liveliness and like energetic quality
Yeah.
about them. And they,
Well, it's like full alignment. It's like a full
Yeah.
spectrum of color. So it's like a balance, I feel like.
so to me, it's that effervescent beauty of
Yes.
just everything.
Yes.
And yeah.
I like that you're capturing like the realm and you are like abstracting the energy that you felt. And Deb over there is focusing on like one being. So you guys kind of have like different concepts that are like going into like this one concept, which is really cool that you guys all had a different perspective. I love that.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect example of a class because it's good to have all these different perspectives because then people grow from each other, artists grow from each other, and you just blossom into the artist that you're supposed to be. And even if you're not used to doing art, this really helps you like relax yourself into just being able to express yourself. No, it doesn't. No, half the things I do are not hyperrealism. I never do hyperrealism, to be honest. Like, I'll do like maybe surrealism or I don't. Honestly, I'm like, if you really want hyperrealistic paintings, just take a picture. I don't
Take a photo.
Nick, I will say one thing I really appreciate about your class is I love so many. Like that
Thank
opens it up
you.
and just, I feel like most classes don't really start that way.
Yeah, I
How
appreciate that
refreshing.
feedback.
Yeah, it's nice. It like really does set a tone for.
Yeah,
for
I
what
feel
you're
like it helps you guys connect more to the imagery because some people do have hard time like coming up with that idea. So I think after, like the meditation and like grounding that imagery is really helpful to get the idea out onto the canvas, especially things like the Fey realm. Like, how often do people, anyone who could walk into one of my classes think about the Fey realm? I mean, some of you might, but like this time of year, I feel like it's especially open. Like summer solstice, like the longest day of the year, it's like the full vitality of nature. The door is open,
Yeah.
Shorts. I'm about to wear shorts. We love them. We love them. When I saw this, I'm like, I need these right now. I love like the orange and the pink together like that. Because usually people go straight from red to orange, but like I think it's a nice mix up because like orange and pink really do mesh together well. Yeah, I can tell from that one too, from last time. The colors are very, very interesting. The usage. Oh, this is where we're supposed to stop drawing.
Tony, how do I make brown?
Green and red, and there's actually brown
I
on
can
the
stand
table.
brown too.
If you want a special tone, it's green and red.
Yeah.
Should I just paint white over everything?
Or if you want more of like an
Or
orange,
any
you can have
brown,
orange.
leave it.
You don't have to let dry. You can do your gloves now,
Where
or you
where did that
can
basket of the pinks go?
it's on the other side of the
Oh,
table.
because I was painting around where I had drawn. Is that
That's what you'll do it?
Yeah, you could do it that way, or you could do
Wow,
the whole
I
thing white and
really
then put
didn't
the
look.
gloves on after.
Okay.
It's magnified.
If you want.
Here we go. The colors just come to me.
Hi, people.
We are working in the art room.
This studio is so cute.
Tony,
I'm a
I-
fan. Like, I'm so jealous of this.
I'm telling you, I really looked.
That's beautiful. the ground right there, the foreground. Wow. I
Johnny,
love
I kind
the
of wish you were
texture.
painting with us.
Well, I certainly could, but.
You can. I can hold the.
No, you teach, baby. You teach.
All right.
I want to see what
I
her
know my
picture
job.
looks like.
I actually, when you were doing that session, what I saw in my head was this tree.
Yes.
And there were a bunch of lights dancing around it.
Ooh.
Now, if I could make them look like really fluorescent lights, I would be
Yes.
so happy at myself.
Yes.
Plus, you know me, I put some sparkles in them.
Yeah.
Never.
Sparkles are always good.
You know,
I like that. I think it's a nice foreground. It's a nice texture. It brings some perspective.
Come on, Dad, help me.
It's good. It's a good space.
Deb's father founded the Greater Havel Arts Association,
She's
so
helping you.
he's passed on,
Look
so
at that
she's
texture.
trying to channel his energy here.
Somewhere in these jeans.
That's it,
Artist.
It's right there. It's right in front of you.
right in front of you.
Don't sell yourself short, because it's looking pretty nice. Yeah. I love texture like that.
Mhm.
Anything textural, and like I like to work with textures personally like that,
Flat.
and layering. Like that's like my favorite.
So it needs like the rocks, right?
I don't think it looks too flat. I think maybe with the plant, if you want to deepen it, you can add like some brown and dark green like shadow underneath. That might help with the what you think looks flat, because the ground looks like it has a lot of depth. It's not, I think it's this part that makes you like more flat than the ground. The ground looks nice.
A little brown in the plant.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe mix it with green a little bit. Yeah. Just like in the underneath parts where you would see the shadow. Yeah.
I also gave you guys palette knives if you want to.
Yes.
Put texture on there.
Yeah.
On your fairy
Or
ring.
those are helpful for mixing too. If you want to like just
Helpful for
scoop up a
mixing.
color. And it does make really nice textures. Some people have old, like, they'll just paint with palette knives. I personally am so bad at that, honestly, even though I do love textures.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
It's not easy, honestly. It's not.
You're
I
right.
definitely want to like give it a real go one day.
You can, you're doing it now, kind of. It's just like, it actually might be a little bit better with oils.
They're heavier.
Yeah, you can like smear it around. Yeah. Overgrowth. Because they don't weed there in the other one. No. They let all the life flourish. Even the weeds. This totally reminds me of like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, like the houses.
That's what
Right.
I thought too.
Oh, wait, what's the name of it? The Shire. The
Yeah,
Shire.
the Shire.
Right.
Yes.
That's kind of what, like, when I initially went in, I was like, oh, there's the Shire.
Yes. Frodo.
I
Love
love
Frodo. Yeah. That's looking good. Yeah.
I like it.
Your father is totally with you.
Yeah, I have a list.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Usually what I do before I go to bed at night, I pull cards like what should I focus on for the next day, or I'll pull cards like how did I do with today's lesson type of thing. And I don't use tarot cards, I use fairy cards.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So it's, but today it said celebrate life.
Some.
It said celebrate life.
Celebrate life.
Celebrate
I
life.
love it.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
here.
it is.
Yeah, we totally.
We are. I mean, I think if any realm, the Fey realm is, you know, the realm that protects life, I think, the most, you know, helps like flourish the whole world, you know, and every season shift and every different planet, you know, plants and the animals, like they're all very connected with that.
Everything is connected at an energy level.
Oh
And I
yeah,
agree.
totally.
Some energies seem to dedicate themselves to certain
Yeah.
jobs or certain areas. So totally. Right.
It's very expressionist. Very expressionist.
Yeah, and the more untrained the person is, the more expression there is.
Yeah.
I have a student who started yesterday,
Yeah.
and she said, I have absolutely no training at all. I said, oh, that's great. You know,
Yeah.
I was all excited. So he actually, that's exactly what he did. He just painted by the seat of his pants.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It was perfect. And
I definitely started out like that to an extent.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to show the picture without his permission.
Yeah.
But it was like a mouth and it had like blood dripping from it.
Oh my gosh.
And,
Yeah.
you know, it was like
Oh my
so,
goodness.
you know, and he wrote the word like he put the letters false throughout the picture, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, you know, and I said, you know, if someone is actually drawing from something else, like one person was copying one of the pictures on the walls, then it really is, you know, they're trying to emulate
Somebody else. Yeah.
But someone who's just painting or drawing, as they go, the colors mean something. You know, where they put the letters on the side of the pictures means something.
Yeah.
And the colors that he used were like reds and yellows. And it was like, he was a young man in his teens, and he was like, I took it as, you know, because he's like, what do you think that means? I said, it's like speaking your truth. I said, or maybe there are words that you're hearing that are hurting or something because there's the blood dripping. And the word false, you know, so either you're not being true to yourself or someone's not being true to you or whatever. So he looked at me and just went, yes. You know, and that was as far as he let me go. But I thought it was an amazing.
I love that. You can learn a lot from art.
You can.
And I honestly forgot to go over the colors in our meetings, but I'm just gonna go over them with you guys because they do, you reminded me, they do really have meanings. And I'll start with browns and go from there. Because browns and kind of like rose gold. Oh, yes.
I'm trying to see where you are.
Hello, yeah, I see myself.
There we go.
So like you could actually maybe bring it a little closer.
I know I am going to.
Yeah.
Right this very moment.
So I want to say like the browns and rose golds and coppery tones. Those colors are very connected with like inner earth and ancestral energies, kind of like the earth star chakra, the energies of kind of like what we carry through our family lines and stuff like that, or even past lives.
I put my hand up because rose gold and copper is some of my favorites.
Yes.
And I'm a Virgo, which is different.
Yeah, that
So,
totally would make sense.
Totally.
You might be just really connecting with that earth star chakra. It's like you're probably healing through your life the energy of your ancestors, if that makes sense. And then there's also black. I would say that's next, and that's the root chakra, but also red, black and red. They're both colors of the root chakra. And that's for grounding. It could be for protection, especially black. Red is more like power, vitality, strength. And I would say it could also on the negative end mean like, you know, anger or hurt. And same thing with black. So those are kind of double-edged sword colors, I would call them, because they do have a duality. They do. But it's never always bad. Never. Yes,
Yeah, you
totally.
have a dual meaning.
Yeah,
You can have really, really good tarot meaning, especially upright.
yeah,
If it's inverted, it still has the potential.
yeah,
But there's a but there.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Same thing with colors. Probably mostly everything that's in the energetic world, but yeah. And then yellow, I would say up to orange is where I would say they're more dualistic. When I feel like where you go from green, it's more balanced. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just the way I perceive it. So I would say yellow um, is all about kind of the solar plexus chakra, or no, I skipped orange. So orange is the sacral chakra. It's all about creativity, the divine spark of the universe that lives within your soul. I kind of love that as like, we all are creators, like we all are divine co-creators of the universe. And that's where that could sit. But that color can also hold anxiety. So that's where, the duality could be. But it also holds a great, like kind of almost family and gathering feeling to me. I think of like Thanksgiving and fall and kind of like when your family just comes back together and like checks in with each other and just becomes one again. And just like kind of like closeness and warmth. So also like elementals too. They mean elemental kind of energies. Like orange, I would say is fire, or autumn. So I think everything, yeah. And then I would say yellow is more like, the sun's energy, summer. It could be spiritual awakening, enlightenment, or it could be, kind of like willpower and stubbornness. So that is a double-edged sword there too. And then up to green, I think that's where it's more like really balanced because that's where your heart is. And where your heart is, and that's where the love and the meaning and the purpose is, and how you connect with like the environment around you, how you perceive abundance. I mean, that could be a little dualistic, but it's mostly good. It's all meant to be good. And then moving up to the throat chakra, blue, that's all about speaking your truth, being honest, singing poetry, expressing yourself in that way. Um, I would even say artistically as well, along with the orange. And then I would say that the third eye chakra, indigo, is all about kind of like more of like the psychic realm where you kind of get into seeing and sight, visions possibly, and just kind of delving into that reality of like the dream world and just kind of tapping into your sixth sense, your psychic abilities. And I would say, purple, lavender, that's the crown chakra. And those energies all have to do with spirituality and magic and the energies of just like pure spirit. I think it's very ethereal. It's one of the most ethereal colors. It's just the highest energy, closest to the end of the spectrum that we can see. Because ultraviolet is the highest on the spectrum that human beings can see. So thinking of what lies outside of that is so interesting. Like we can only see that much of the spectrum of colors. Imagine how many more colors exist.
Someone told me, yeah, exactly. Someone said to me, they told me, try to imagine a color that you don't have a name for. I went, huh? You know what I mean? It was one of those deals. But you're absolutely right. That's exactly what we're addressing. It's a whole lot of colors out there that you don't
I
even
think
see.
the best way to try to maybe perceive a color like that is to layer colors in your mind together and try to see them at the same time. Because colors that you can't mix, say if like you would mix it, but it would make brown. But you look at it together and it's not necessarily brown, it's like metallic maybe. You could say that that's a
a
color.
young student, she's 7 years old, and she'll say to me, can I have some brown paper? She's from, no, that's green. Yeah, I said, no, it's brown. But red red and green make brown.
Yeah.
Mix them together. So just whatever her rods and cones and
Yeah.
inside her eye, she sees the green, which totally amazes me.
Yeah.
That's too green. I want brown, you know? I said,
Yeah.
well, put some more red in it or something.
Pixels and
Pixels and rods and cones. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would rod just
discussing that one.
Yes.
So
Think
interesting.
about metallics, please.
Metallics,
Gold,
yes.
silver, and white.
Yes. So white is also color for the crown chakra. It's purity, kind of a clean slate, new beginning, just kind of that openness. It's just an open channel. And that that to me is just a very pure color that spirit also kind of arrives in. And I also think that the silver energy is like kind of like the lunar energy, like the goddess, divine feminine type of energy. And that that's all about kind of like go into like parallel dimensions and like time travel and things like that. Those are, I would say, in the silver spectrum. And then I would say gold is in the spectrum of more of like the galactic energy and also like the divine masculine kind of like archetypal consciousness that we're very familiar with. Yes. Yes. And then the magenta is like a very unique color in my eyes. It's like a very like your unique soul's purpose, like your soul as like a whole accumulative kind of like energy as an individual, like before the oversoul almost. So
explain for those who don't know what an oversoul is, because actually use a lot of
Yes.
terms that people in the spiritual practices and whatnot would recognize.
Yes.
But a lot of people
Yes.
would not.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's all
so
right. No,
bad
no,
with
that's
that.
all right.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
The oversoul, the oversoul is just something like almost like group consciousness, but it's not always one thing. It's like different levels. Like it's almost like a hive mind. Like there's just this other consciousness. Like there's a human consciousness that we have all together that we can tap into. That say like for an example, the 70s style is coming back. We're all tapping into that energy and like dressing that way, feeling like that a little bit more. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm like, that's the best example I can think of. Or like think of like a beehive and how they're all working towards this one goal, but like the individual bee itself isn't necessarily like thinking apart from that goal.
On the board, if you're into Star Trek.
Board.
The board.
No, I need to know.
Oh my God.
I haven't really seen Star Trek actually. I need to get into Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
The Next Generation.
All right, I need to
There
get
is-
into
there
that.
is a- there's
I've seen
something
Star
called the
Wars,
board,
but
and they're all connected to one
Yeah.
time.
So interesting.
Exactly what you said.
Well, like we all are to an extent. I think it also is like on a spectrum, but it's about tapping in and out of that. So it's like we have it, but we're not always in it. But sometimes we are and we don't realize.
So how does someone tap into that spectrum if they like to?
I think if you would like to, it depends on what you want to tap into. Say if you want to tap into the oversoul of the planet, Gaia, Earth energy, then you would go outside and you would be quiet and still and just connect with the ground and the rocks, the trees, the wind, and everything around you. And then say if you did want to tap into human consciousness on a mass scale, like I'm trying to think of the word that I've always used that I can't think of right now.
That's because he was up partying all night, guys.
It was my brother's high school graduation. Yeah. Yeah, and I also just am so bad at colors. Yeah, seriously.
Make yourself part of the tree.
Yes,
You can
I
feel
agree.
it. You can feel everything moving inside of it.
Mhm.
I did it. It was amazing.
It is amazing. It really is. They have so much more consciousness than we think too.
Well, they all
Oh,
connect.
of course.
They have language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all talk to each other.
Yeah. And they all like they'll move out of the way for each other so that like littler like baby trees can get more light and stuff. There's actually a tree in my yard that was like about to like be blown over by the wind. But like these other trees like grew towards that tree and like met it where it was like tilting and like propped it up with branches. So it's really cool. It's right next to like the shed in my yard where I always will go out to and I'll make art out there actually because I like to be outside and make art. Yeah, it's really nice to be out in nature and like connect with that energy. I just think it helps you to kind of like disconnect from the human consciousness a little bit because sometimes we're so hyper focused like in our societal like life and just things that we have to do or like perceive that it does create a balance. Yes.
And we get so caught up in everyday
We
parts of our
do.
life
We do.
that we need the balance.
But it's normal. It's human nature. I mean, some people are the other. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. The colors are really, really amazing. And the textures are really cool. That's okay. It does feel like a wood texture, but it also feels like it's like on the floor of the. It's almost like these like are popping through it. It almost reminds me of like mud or something, or like yeah, but it almost has like moss or something on there. I feel like it's like dirt and like moss and just like I don't know, like yeah, I could see like wood and sticks and just like I could see over here it looks kind of like a wood grain, or it could be something coming through, like some growth coming through it, like a log. If you like want to make a hole, and you if you wanted to find the edges, you could kind of make her on a log if you wanted to. You could do that, or you could push it towards being just like a ground and like add some more greens and like make it look mossy, like it's there's growth on top of the dirt. Yeah, you could just add like patches. It depends on where you want to go though. Would you rather be more of a like a forest floor or a cave floor? Then okay. So then I would do kind of like you can mix like dark green or light green, just go in like little patches, kind of with the same texture that you're already doing. Just imagine the moss like slowly growing. You can do it slower. Yes, like that. Yeah. And you can have it spaced out a little bit and then kind of come back. Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a look around and see what everyone's doing.
The colors here. This shape too is really interesting. Like just the way that it's moving. It does have like this movement to it. Like it's in motion.
I love the colors in the dress. That's
Which I
awesome.
feel like is a lot about your
Yeah,
what your
I need
vision
help.
does.
Yeah.
She's very.
Was the movement, the rays of light.
You're doing great. I hate.
Yeah, I think if you take a smaller brush at the end, I think you're doing good with locking in the colors now. But at the end, if you want to get those like fine like rays of light, you could like mix the colors of what you have in the sections. Yeah. And you could just add white to it, and you can make like the even like lighter version, so it looks like the beam of light in the middle.
Mm.
Or you could take one uniform kind of like off white or white and make like those just be like beams of light shooting out into the color. So you can go different routes with it. Or you could simply keep going with like the like gradients of like different colors and the smoothness and almost a watercolor texture as well. Because that's almost how this is feeling over here and down there.
Yeah.
It's almost a little like watercolor.
Like a
Dreamy.
flower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what it's called, okay?
You're definitely channeling your dad right now. Yeah. You asked him. to be
You
there,
asked.
so.
They don't say no.
Did he like use a lot of texture like that?
Oh my God. He was they won many awards. Founded
founded the AAP Board Association.
50 years ago. We're
That's
celebrating
beautiful.
50 years this year.
He was in it when he
Are you
passed.
guys gonna
Yeah.
have like a celebration for it?
We have been celebrating since the beginning of the year.
Yes.
And an award ceremony, and we have a scholarship fund in the father's name, and that's going to be awarded tomorrow. We have a board that.
Wish I knew about that. Darn it.
Well, you know, I keep trying to get you to join and this and that.
Oh, if I join that.
We haven't.
Oh, I'm in the thing.
You're in there. Yes.
Oh,
So, why
I
don't
would love to be part of that. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have to like get.
The young man that won this year, $1,000.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I can do it for next year because I'll definitely still be in school next year.
Well, I think you know what you should do. I think you should become part of the DJ.
I would love it.
Table and surrounding
Yeah.
areas, and you are one of the most active.
Yeah.
Ian, are you hearing this? I'm plugging us, honey. The most active associate.
That's perfect.
You did a lot of work.
Yeah,
They're amazing.
that's beautiful.
It's amazing.
I love that.
Totally.
I need to join. I'm gonna definitely sign up. So it's that link that you sent me?
I am gonna send you.
Yes. Send me the
I'm
paperwork.
gonna sign you with it.
Yes. I'm excited. I've never been part of an art
Oh my God.
association.
Oh my
Never.
God. You definitely should.
Yeah, I've never had that experience. So
I have a
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The only thing would be like I would be in Maine some of the time, but then when I come back, obviously, like because I my family, everyone lives here, you know. I would love that. I would literally love that. I would have so much work too from school. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of work right now too, but yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
One coming up in September on the park.
Yeah, September 11th.
September 11th.
Oh, that's nice.
My dad.
That's gonna lighten the mood of that day, I feel like. That's a good time to do that, you know? Raise the vibration.
So that will,
Oh.
I think we'll get you signed up.
I'm so excited.
Whatever you want.
That is amazing. I'm excited.
I mean, a lot of times non-members can participate.
Yeah.
If you're a member, you get breaks on the entry fees.
Yeah.
I think we'll just, I think we can.
Yeah.
We'll get you on
Let's be on the board. I'm so excited. I've never been a part of a board.
there. Well,
Sounds
you'll
so
be-
professional.
When you're part of the board, you be a membership of the group.
Oh
You can be on the board.
gosh.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
you guys think, if you guys think that wherever I'll be a good fit, like, I'm very workable, you know? I'm very go with the flow. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you sing and dance?
We take numbers.
I actually kind of can, but like, I don't know if I'm comfortable. I do like, I dance with like a light lip. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like, yeah, yes, yes, yeah.
What is it?
I actually don't go to a lot of raves, honestly, but like, yes, it is one of those things, but it's called flow dancing, actually.
I love it.
Yes. And singing, I do like write songs for myself sometimes, and I have worked with people to like make songs. But all of those projects I feel like have fell through because usually the person that I've worked with usually doesn't care as much as I do. Or they have other things that they're doing at the same time. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cute.
Mom's gonna be there. So we actually have, you'll like it, you'll like it. It's a very
Yeah.
active organization. There's 500 members.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Melissa is the secretary, so her and Ann have all the answers to any questions you have.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this texture that you're blending into it. It's giving it almost like a cloudy appearance. Yeah. Almost like a nebula, like first thing out into the colors, you know, they're like transversing each other. Yeah. And this too, this like swept greenery. I'm feeling like this different energy, you know, from the sky and the ground, but it's unified. I love that.
I
It's
always
a
like
different
love your
texture and
expertise.
feeling, but what?
I always love to hear your expertise.
Yes. Yes, see these lines like this? That you kind of like lined with the shape, like you lined it up with the shape. The more you do that, and I think for your piece, like if you go into the spaces like that or with the rays of light, that gives it more motion. And the shorter the streaks that you do and the smaller kind of means like, I would say like slower and faster. Like if you started off like kind of small and then got longer, if you think of like a Van Gogh and like think of like the Starry Night painting and the way it, like the swirls and the lines are moving, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. When you line it up like that, it gives it this kind of like spinning in motion. Like the star is already twisted a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's already in motion and those lines added so much. And then if you add the lines outside of it or the rays of light within that same pattern of movement, that is what makes the whole painting come to life and move, which I think you're already doing a really good job with. That's cool.
We're always working.
Yeah, we all are.
Very true.
I remember like, I like literally like cannot say that I'm finished with it. I'm like, yeah, that's basically done. Yeah.
Well, half the art is figuring out when you're finished,
Yeah.
I think.
There's been so many things where I've just, you know, I mean, help? I can do this.
We should have put the.
Well, you know what she's.
Just for someone to see it, it doesn't, you know,
Oh, yeah,
necessarily.
just to exhibit her.
So
Oh,
that-
yeah. we can do that.
Features that you see like smaller or
Oh, she's so serene.
Wow, Debbie.
Isn't that awesome?
That color work is awesome.
Like that.
I love it.
I don't know where it came from.
You're from Dad.
from
Oh,
Dad and Carrie.
I told you, I have a list.
You asked for a color.
One thing at a time. They can get the
A list of what?
Oh, everything I want to.
Yeah, you know her better.
Oh, I see. what
You
you're saying.
see what you mean.
Not really good.
Yeah, it is terrible.
Awful. I wouldn't have anything over here.
Look at it, she's like looking down to the flowers.
Here. Cookies.
No, no, thank you.
Yeah, you're just gonna need a darker color to like.
A bit of orange, just let yourself fly loose. Oh, you, yeah, baby. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, your rainbow's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really. I liked it before, but after the texture on it, I like it even more. And now that I say that, I have to let people see what you do. Oh, I know what we can do. Instead of me trying to, turn it around. Let people say. Look at that. Okay, so that's even better than me trying to catch it. She's doing a good job. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
See, Deb?
Those are my favorite
I
movies
love it.
as a
I love
kid.
that green.
Totally.
You know, I like it because it's not like all smooth.
Yeah, I felt like I needed texture.
Remember the day we came out of the store and we saw a double rainbow? It was a picture.
Those are the best. She just feels very soft to me. Very gentle and delicate.
Does she have a big nose?
Yes.
Kind of. I can fix it though if you want. Yeah. Smaller brush. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, she has a big nose. Fixing her nose.
Giving her a nose job.
There you go. Tattooing. Tattoo eyelids. That's a good business again. I mean, eyebrows. I'm sorry.
Eyelids. I was like, wait,
They
what?
actually do the eyeliner.
They do the eyeliner. They do. Actually, one of my aunts has the tattooed eyeliner. Looks good on her, honestly.
You have it done?
No, my mom did. I don't know why. It was so hard. You can. But I'm not gonna go too close.
My hairdresser gave me an address of somebody in Woburn that does it. She does eyebrows too. And she
Yeah,
does
my coworker got
feathered
her eyebrows
ones.
done.
She does feathered ones.
She had like no eyebrows. She got a tattoo.
Yeah.
I have like too much eyebrows. I'm gonna get them.
Are we talking this so the whole world knows our secrets
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, it's okay. They can all know that. I mean, it's not like you can miss my eyebrows. Yeah, except they connect in the middle, so I have to like tweeze them all the time. Yeah. All my baby pictures, I have like a fat bushy unibrow. It's pretty funny. Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, they do.
I know. You just took like 20 years off her.
Mhm. Those are some big fat feet you have over there. What size of feet do you have?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well,
Look at those feet. Wow.
yeah.
Wish you-
My mom actually has
No way.
Wow.
That's not true.
I'm not 15.
I'm like a 5'10".
15.
If I was a 15, wow.
Can you find shoes?
Very difficult
All right.
to find shoes.
How is she now?
Oh, she's beautiful.
Can I have her and show her?
Yeah.
Can I show her off?
So far, so
I
good.
just helped with like the little profile of the face. Just a little gentle kind of like, just so you can more add the detail. Just a little gentle touch.
Gentle touch from the master.
I'm no master. Not yet.
Not yet, we're working on it. Very nice, very nice.
An ascended master.
An ascended master.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
All I can think about is the Shire, and like it's just so beautiful and like rolling. Like this looks like it's rolling hills to me. Yeah. You know what you could do too?
What?
You could also like to add to the effects. You could like sometimes in some of the places, I like some of the rolls like continuous, but in some places you could add like little like rock ledges sticking out of the cliff or something. You know, like little like grays, blacks, and browns, kind of like breaking it up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like that. I would do that.
you don't have to, but it
No,
could be
I like
cool.
it.
Yeah.
I thought about putting some like on that because it's gonna be water here.
Yes, that's
So
what I was thinking too, like a river or something in between.
So I
Yeah.
like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah, I feel like where there's rivers, there's rocks usually. Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, look at this. It's really like almost like I'm thinking like 80s, 90s like art pop. That's what it's really like taking me back to.
It's one of those features where you can look at it and see many things.
Yeah.
It's like a shooting star.
Yes, totally. I like the way that the star though is like kind of like twisted like in the movement that it's going in, because it really adds to that like movement of the whole sequence. Yes.
Oh, I just wanted an eyebrow.
Oh, an eyebrow.
I just didn't
Little
want-
eyebrow.
Didn't we just have that conversation?
That's actually not bad the way it is. I think that's actually
Do I
good.
have
You're
to go
over it.
underneath?
No, I don't think you should even add any more to it because it's just like a
How
little.
about an eyeball?
Well, yeah, an eyeball. Yes. I thought you missed the eyebrow because I don't think you need help with the eyebrow. I think it looks good.
Very specific.
A little blue eye. Well, I would go in with maybe like this color again and and kind of you can like shape the eyelid a little bit, just like if you add like almost like if you think of like the side of eyelids, like let me just paint it on there. Like if you think of say, like
Even though I mixed it,
this
it's
is
still
kind of thick for what I'm talking about, but like
Wackadoo.
the side of the eyelids would kind of look like that, you know, like very vaguely. I need this brush, honestly.
Alright, this one.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I brought you some clean water also. It's in front of you.
Thank you.
Here's a tissue for you.
Okay, so I'm going with this brush. That was too big to do this on that face, you know, she has a very delicate face. Very delicate. So you would just take like this almost like B-side shape and like the eyelid would be kind of like in between and very delicate because she has a tiny features, you know. But then the eyeball would be,
Eyeball from the side.
you can kind of give one like this, right? And then you take a little blue. Instead of just putting like a blue dot, you know, something like that. Gives you like a little side view of an eye.
Okay.
Like if you look at him from the side.
Yeah.
And see how it's kind of a V shape?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So like she's gonna be looking down. So like you look at like, you know, and then you can have the eyelashes coming out a little bit, you know, like maybe she has purple eyelashes. A little. Maybe not that long, but you get it.
That's very, okay, I'll try, hope I don't screw up.
I believe in you. Look at how far you've come already.
I know.
Flowers were good.
Totally
The
awesome.
flowers, they kind of remind me of like water lilies or something. Like,
Yeah.
What are those? Oh, actually, they also remind me of those other plants that are like, they're that color, like that pinkish red, and they're kind of like flowers, but they're like singular leaves that like kind of like
lotus.
sprout out. Not a lotus.
Lily pads. I'm trying to get it.
Maybe like I'm thinking of like a house plant actually. It's like you would find out like Home Depot or like yeah, I'm sorry about that, everybody.
By the end of this, you're gonna have his butt memorized.
Yeah. Hers, yeah. her queen has flowers.
No, the one you're trying to think of. Is it a flower?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's technically a flower or not because it almost looks like a leaf and a flower at the same time.
I don't know.
They're like curled out and they almost look like fiery. Like they could be lilies. I don't know.
Because those do look
Gladiolus.
like flowers, but they're,
Not
they definitely
gladiolus,
look like.
right?
I did say it kind of did look like a water lily, but I didn't think it's the same exact thing because it's a house plant. But I don't know. It could be. Or I guess there's a lily doesn't need to be a water lily. But also, I'm not thinking of like
Tiger
white.
lilies, tiger lilies have.
Maybe that
they
could
have
be
little
it.
spots on
I don't remember seeing spots. I don't know the name of the plant at all. It's like a red leaf, almost like that curls that looks like a petal almost, but like continues going and turns green into the stem.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Is it like a bleeding heart?
That could
It's
be
not a
it.
poinsettia.
No, not a poinsettia. Looks like the Christmas plant.
Yeah. What? Tell me what.
Pizza, pizza eyes.
Oh, no, that's
It's
not
very
it.
delicate, you do.
Right.
Oh no, that's not it.
But I
But
know what
those
you're
are cool.
talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember the
I
name
know,
of it.
like I can picture it in my head. I don't know the name of it either.
But yeah, I kind of like want to know now because I don't.
I would Google like red
Yeah, it's.
Red.
red
it's-
leaf plants or
I
something.
think it was because
See
it
if
was
I can
just,
pop that.
it's separated.
That like
It almost looks tropical.
yeah. I'm pretty sure I know what you're
Oh, I
talking
found it.
What's it
Oh,
called?
That's all I needed, two little lines.
Two little lines, like a V shape. Looking down.
What's it called?
It didn't
Eyebrow
say. I
line
just saw the
spot.
picture. I'm waiting for it to load on Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, it's a flowering bromeliad oozmania.
Oh,
Okay.
uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
Does that sound right?
Sure.
Anything about plants, but I was talking about this, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what I was talking about. This is the flower that kind of reminds me of, right?
Oh,
there it
what
is.
kind of flower is that?
It's called I just said it.
A blue, yeah.
Oh, booyah, yeah.
A booyah.
How did you even find it?
I literally just searched red leaf flower houseplant.
Oh, I thought that.
Yeah, and it's called bromeliad oozmania.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. See, that's all you need is just like a little V shape and a blue dot, and
So you could do
gives the
Yeah.
gives it a perfect.
You like that?
You could, or you could make it blue.
I think Mario wants to see Nick.
Oh yes.
You could make long-
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't think of it because like I can remember that name.
Oh, yeah.
But like they're common, like you see them at
They
like
are.
Home Depot or like a nursery, you know, in a greenhouse.
Oh, well, it's funny.
I love the texture of like the gown she's wearing. It almost looks like
I do too.
feathers
She
coming
said
out.
she wanted it raggy, which, and it kind of looks feathery.
It looks feathery to me, almost like a 20s kind of like
Well, she
flapper.
does fly.
Yeah, she does. She's a flapper. She flaps her
She's
wings.
a flapper.
She's a flapper fairy. I mean, we are in the 20s now, right? So
For sure.
she's repping that old flapper style. I honestly think that we're colliding with this kind of like cool, like Art Nouveau, Art Deco kind of like vibe coming back in.
Oh, I love it.
Like, I think at some point this decade, like you're gonna see like this cool mixture of like roaring 20s, like flapper wear with like kind of like also this like 70s, like relaxed kind of boho. I just think that's what I see, like this Art Nouveau vision
I can
coming
see
to
that.
fruition, you know? Yeah. This is looking really
Take the
nice.
whole load then. Take
Like
the
I
whole
want to
load
go
and
visit this
take the
place
whole
with you,
load.
like
Nice.
go on an adventure to the other world, you know?
Yeah, let's do it.
Step through a portal. These almost look like symbols. Almost like almost kind of like runes, because this one is almost like the rune protection symbol.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And this one almost reminds me of one, but not exactly. But it's like similar.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or just like different like symbols. Like there's so many symbols around the world that mean different things that are just kind of like imprinted in our subconscious.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So let me ask you a question. Now, last time we did this, I definitely saw something in my head that guided me as to what I wanted to put on the canvas. But as I was painting, that evolved and changed.
Yes.
So is that typical? It must be, I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
as the person is painting, even though they started out like they were motivated to do certain colors or shapes, as I was painting, it was like it kept growing, like put this next.
That's exactly the way I would describe how I would paint. So I guess that would make sense that kind of channels through that energy, because that's the way that I feel like I kind of teach the class a little bit, because it is supposed to be like an open kind of channeled expression. Yeah, it doesn't. It just opens the door. Yeah, it kind of just gets you in that mindset, and then you just continue to channel as you create, you know.
Definitely.
She's really coming to life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She really has her own little soul and everything.
You give her a name
Her
then?
own world.
Oh,
and
yeah, I'm still
soul.
trying to give her a face.
I feel like that will help with the name. Yeah. Tinkerbell. What color are you making her hair?
It's gonna be white with silver in it.
White with silver. Yes, that's
Oh,
what
I
you were
love
talking about when you were talking about her having white hair. Yes.
I love that.
I can find that. Oh, in here, right?
Actually on the
I
table.
found metallic gold too.
Yeah, metallic silver and gold at the end of the table.
Oh,
And the big,
and-
and the big bottles. No, on the table. That's
oh,
right near the yellow.
oh, there's big gold too.
Big gold
Yeah.
and silver.
This one's a little warmer.
and
This one's a
warmer.
little cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's cool though. I like
Yeah.
that there's different choices.
for sure. Even on my lens over here, we got yellow gold and kind of a brush of federal gold.
Yeah.
See, this is the real yellow.
Yes,
gold.
I see that. That's beautiful. I love all the sparkles you use. Why not? Like, seriously. No. Her hair almost reminds me of clouds. Yeah.
Too much? Too much hair?
Doesn't have to be. I think if she looks like that, she looks like that, you know? It depends on how you're envisioning her. Like, is it matching like her energy? Because honestly, I think it could work. It's very ethereal. Like she looks like her hair is like in the clouds almost. You could play with that too. You could make her hair like move apart into clouds too if you wanted to, like into the top of the picture if you wanted to, but you don't have to.
I haven't even thought about clouds yet.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. You don't have. That's just what I saw. when I was- yeah. And everyone does. It's like I could see something, and that's what I like about like these classes is because it's not like a paint along. Like you're not gonna just like follow my direction and paint exactly step by step. It's gonna be your imagery that you connected with. You know? Yeah, that's what like that's just what I've always connected with. That's the way I've done the painting, you know? And I feel like to share that is part of who I am. It's just what I should do, you
That's
know?
what TIBS is all about.
Yeah.
Work for people, to find their passion and make the world a better place for them.
Well, I really feel grateful that you think that I qualify to be
Most certainly do.
a part of that.
Hard to draw it next time.
Yeah, no, it's not as easy, but you're actually doing pretty good. The only thing that I would say is you might want to play off the colors in the background with water because water is reflective. So you're gonna want to maybe play off the sky tones a little bit, like add
Good
some
idea.
purples into the blue
Yeah.
right at the border, but like make sure there's still like clear, like kind of barrier. Yeah,
Okay.
like have it just be like off a tone. You know what I mean? And then you can go with the gradient a little bit, but then have like in the foreground where it's kind of it can like be translucent in the sense where it fades out into like just the river. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
do it.
This looks beautiful though. The sky gives me such a specific feeling, like almost a familiar feeling of just like looking up and like seeing the full spectrum of every color.
It's beautiful.
I feel like must be like some realm or planet where the sky is rainbow like that.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. Color's the
Very-
best.
Very
honestly.
happy.
Well, I love when like sometimes when the sun is setting and like the other end of the sky where the sun isn't kind of looks like this pastel kind of like rainbowy
Yeah.
gradient. It's just so beautiful.
And if you were actually able to capture that on the canvas, people would go, oh, that
Yeah.
doesn't look real.
Yeah. This is really like sparkling for me. I feel like if you added maybe some of the metallics, it might add to the feeling of this piece. Like if you put some gold in or silver, I think maybe you could do both, but you could just choose one or the other.
Yeah, something a little different.
Maybe silver, I think might be.
Silver, I would go with silver.
Yeah. It could be cool to like maybe give like silver beams or silver outlines or silver streaks or anything. I don't know. Just like an accent of it, I guess. Would be cool in there. Do you want some silver?
Yeah, silver.
Yeah. Please. So I keep kicking everyone's bench with my
I do
big
that.
ass feet,
I do
my
that
big
all the time.
boots.
Big boots.
I remember my gym teacher in middle school used to call me boat shoes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't really like gym class.
Water shoes. Yeah.
I'm sure you can like imagine why.
Very nice.
It was kind of funny. It was just like yeah, it was a little embarrassing, but I don't think she meant to be
I
mean.
was just gonna say. She probably just thought it was
No,
funny.
she thought it was
Yeah.
funny, but then like, everyone took it further. Like, yeah, they're like, what size is your shoe again? You know what that means. I'm like, all right. What you want to know? Oh, that's beautiful.
People ask me how tall I am.
Yeah,
6'1".
I do.
I
It
love
really
it.
is. It really feels
Do
like
they
the
ever
woman
say
that you
that? Anything
described.
back?
The being that you described. Honestly, it's a really nice
I love it.
capturing of a meditation.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, it's almost like exactly what you described to me.
Aw. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, but you are, like this is a process of that. You are it is capturing, but it's like just a slower process. I think it's gorgeous. And I feel like since like even the last time I saw you, like you've just like grown and channeled like this energy even more, I feel like. I feel like everyone does grow though from every piece that they do. Because every piece of art that you make like channels something and teaches you something and brings an energy out that needs to be expressed. That's beautiful. See that reflecting. I love that.
It was very nice.
It was
Yeah.
really good in my
Yeah,
tent.
it's awesome.
That feels right. The shapes of the planes are really nice too. Yeah. You guys have all cool, like unique, different like takes right now, and I'm really loving it. Like this like abstract art pop over here, and then we've got like this expressionist kind of like otherworldly ethereal landscape.
Yeah.
And then over there we kind of have this expressionist, almost kind of surreal, real, almost kind of, yeah, it's just a good figure. It's a good illustration of a figure, a being, you know. It gives more of like a reality to like what we meditate, you know.
Oh, I like that. Okay. I'll do that.
From the planet space.
Okay.
Or it could be somewhere deep down in the middle of the earth. Middle Earth.
You're shy.
Yeah. They actually do say, I've heard that the earth is actually like honeycombed. And there's caverns and spaces and environments and creatures and civilizations. Yeah. Yes.
Fake stone. They have.
I don't even know if it's fake though. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
the
it's a-
atmosphere
it's a-
just like
It's a fake sky. They kind of
interesting.
It's from
I've
the
never heard
water,
it explained
it's
like
from the
that.
water that
Yeah.
evaporates and it makes a sky.
Like an atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, they have technology down there.
Well, yeah, there's definitely civilizations like the Anshar. They call them the Anshar. They're like we're related to them. Yeah. But we're related to them like genetically. Like they're like our kind of like they were like the first humans that evolved past what we are, you know, like they were like the first human civilization that fell before the flood. And they were the people that saved themselves and helped other
And also
humans.
helped us join.
Yeah.
Do you have to
Yeah.
have, like a round brush like this with a little bit
Right now, they're sort of a bubble. They put themselves in a bubble because not knowing what's gonna happen with the earth.
Oh, I'm sure.
So if it was destroyed in some way, they would not get hurt or
Yeah.
touched.
Yeah.
That was Simon Corey Good. That
I love
makes sense
Corey
to me.
Good. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's really cool.
I don't know him before. Oh, yeah.
He has a lot of extraterrestrial and different kind of like inner earth experiences.
They said he was once Enoch.
He was once Enoch.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. That's why he.
I heard though that Enoch was now Metatron.
Can be many. It can be.
That's true. Your soul can
Spin-off.
fragment.
It can be an aspect of.
Yeah, fragment.
God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We are kind of all shards of like different oversouls. Different archetypes and beings, and our higher self is so much more than we probably think that it is. Our tiny human consciousness.
Johnny told me that I was a rainbow angel.
Ooh, well, have you ever heard of the Rainbow Children?
I haven't.
That's probably what, you know, she was talking about, because there's the different waves. I think we talked about this last session, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and it was like the first, like you guys were like the indigo wave, and then you guys kind of like helped like my generation, like the crystal energy wave. And then the next one, okay, so the indigo children are the beings that, the people who incarnate that are part of the indigo ray. So their auras can seem very indigo. And they are kind of like the fighters, the people who have paved the way for the crystal children and the rainbow children to be able to come into expression. So the crystal children, so I'm a crystal child or person, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a child, but I collect a lot of crystals. I always have. I work with the energies of the crystals. I heal with crystals. I make grids and, you know, collect rocks from the environment. And I think honestly, when I make grids, I put like intentions in them for different things. But I also really enjoy, like, there is America's Stonehenge actually right near where I live. And I've always actually lived around it. And I tend to go there a couple times a year and work with that grid of the stones there.
So is a grid?
I'm like 90% sure, like deep down below the actual structure that we can see are gridded crystals down there. Because the way that a lot of the time they would make stone circles in monuments back in ancient times is they would actually grid crystals underneath first. Yeah. So when you go into one of those places, that's why you can feel the energy so much, because the ley lines, first of all, yeah, like it's a nexus of like the ley lines and the energetic planes of the world. Yeah, well, when I was there with my friend who's also, she's like a medium. She switches in and out of it. She's young, she's my age. So it's hard. I would say to be a medium and to be a psychic is not always easy at this age, because you're very pulled by like making your life, like working in the 3D, because you have to like get through, survive. Yeah. So she goes in and out like I do. I go in and out. I'm trying to, like, you know, keep one foot fully in all the time. And that's definitely, yes, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. And just like aligning it and kind of like at that specific place, like say for at America's Stonehenge, there was a lot of mixed energy there. Like there was a lot of negative, like really dark, like sacrificial energy. But then there was like a lot of like light, like the first energy that was there, almost like it wasn't meant to be that. It was meant to like take the energy from the moon in certain constellations. Yes, like primordial, kind of like being able to take downloads from the universe. So they're basically places where people could portal in and out as well to go to different parallel dimensions and things. Well, the crystals facilitate all this energy, and they work with the ley line in the actual earth physically. And then the rainbow children. So this is what Melissa, the rainbow child over here. I think I'm on the verge of rainbow energy too, because you're not always one, just specific. It's very like a scale. It's like a spectrum, like anything else. But yeah, the rainbow children specifically are they work with colors, color energy. They're very expressive. Like you're wearing like all blue right now. And you know, that means connecting into your truth and like that expression, and just like, and you're channeling. That's blue's a channeling color. So of course you're gonna wear blue. You know, and so that is one example. Another example is you probably just like, you know, you work, they're healers. So they work with the color energy to heal. And I would say the crystals and the indigos are also healers to an extent, but like the rainbows are the real full-time healers, if that makes sense. Yeah. And they don't necessarily need the crystals as
Yeah.
much to
Okay.
facilitate it. I think the crystals are kind of like the gateway energy to be able to access that,
Mhm.
because crystals are very powerful and
Yeah.
ancient. But the rainbow energy is very light and ethereal, and it's
Mhm.
just very, I mean, it's all ethereal. We're all ethereal beings, but the
Yeah.
rainbow is just, it's very high vibration. It's working with the full spectrum of energy
Very cool.
in a healing way. Yes.
Speaking to us.
Going back to Stonehenge,
Oh, yes.
the Druids were part of that too.
Yeah.
They were there.
See, I think the Druids actually have like a worse name that they were like given, because I don't think it was the Druids that were necessary. I think it was the Druids that say made American Stonehenge, but I don't know if the Druids made original Stonehenge, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
they were probably drawn.
yes, they were drawn to the energy and then they emulated it. So that's kind of like how, because I actually connect a lot with the Druid energy, because once I got the serpentine skull, which I talked about last time, and I had that almost past life regression. Yeah. So I had like a little past life regression with a serpentine crystal skull that I have. And when I meditated with this skull, I saw, rune symbols on standing stones, kind of like almost like glowing on the stones. And then I saw like, people in like white robes and stuff, like standing in the stone circle. So I was very like this kind of like I kind of felt like it was like a Stonehenge kind of druid vibe. And then after that, I went out and bought a book on Druid. It's called Druid Power. So I'm reading that now, and I'm getting into that myself because I already like magic and stuff. So I love that. This has a really nice texture in the hair. It looks very convincing, the curls, and it's
Yeah,
just,
isn't it cool? It came out really
yeah.
good.
It's just like very like nice, like bouncy, like full round curls,
Oh, that is pretty.
Yeah.
Really nice, Miss Deborah.
The silver added a really nice touch
Who
too.
knew she had it in her?
Oh, no, I
You-
didn't.
I knew you did.
You knew. He
I
had
knew
faith
that.
in you.
We gotta have faith in each other.
Wow.
Because sometimes we're not always strong enough to have faith in ourselves, and
ourselves.
we're always told that we should and we have to, but sometimes it does take a friend to push you,
Absolutely. Absolutely. The energy's coming.
Yeah. This is very sparkly.
Can I show
Like, I
you
almost feel like it's
what you
a
have?
flower.
Because I've been
Yeah,
talking about it as one thing, but actually seeing it is something else.
Yeah.
So this is,
Check in.
we can have a check-in and kind of look
I
at
can bring
everyone's
this over
picture.
there for you, too. I'll take it over,
Because-
too.
I'm thinking we can maybe kind of,
The only second one I've ever done in my life.
beautiful.
This one is Lori's. It's very almost like I'm feeling like an art pop, like 90s art pop.
I
And
was gonna say, every time I look at it, I see something different. And
yes,
we had been shooting stuff. And you
yes.
said it looks like the star is going forward and it's like bent in the
It's
wind.
like, yeah,
That's what
spiraled
it
a
is.
little
It
bit.
was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
It's very explosive, like almost like fireworks. Can I show yours too?
Oh, sure. It's a little wet.
So here's Melissa's Shire. Look at this. It's a beautiful landscape. Like, don't we want to go here? I want to go there. Yeah, it does. It has a nice foreground and a nice background. It really goes and flows together. Yeah.
That will give you a skin color. Okay, so Mr. Nick, I'm thinking we can let people finish these up.
Yeah.
Okay, and after they're all done, I'll actually post the finished work.
Yeah.
So that everyone
That'd be awesome.
good, and we can maybe conclude if everyone is
Yeah.
ready to do that. Is everyone ready to do that? Okay, so Mr. Nick, tell people how they can get a hold of you if they
All
want
right.
to know more about you.
You guys, for those of you that have Facebook, you can contact me on Facebook, but only through Facebook Messenger. That's the only thing I'll say. If you guys have Instagram, you can find me at Deeper Levels, just one word, all lowercase, Deeper Levels on Instagram. You can direct message me or leave a comment or send me a story, anything. It's DeeperLevels.
Now, I did not realize this was
Wait.
gonna be such a hard test.
I'm not good at
I
spelling.
actually read your name because if you go on your
Yeah,
Nicholas.
my name is Nicholas, but without the H, so
Yes.
Nicolas. And then Depanthlus, Depamphilis. I know it's a long one. Yeah. 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 It kind of like, it looks like how it sounds, kind of. So it's like three names, if you think about it. D, Pam, and Phyllis. Yeah. So that actually helped me with learning when I was a little kid. Yeah. Yeah. There's 3 women that make up my name. Yes. I embody them all. When in New Hampshire here, I'm gonna just. Oh, that's backwards. I think they can still see it though. Yeah. You can see it, yeah. Unless you're dyslexic like me, then you're like, then you can't spell or read, so. Oh, yes, you guys can totally call me at 603-327-4320, or you could leave me a text message, or you could email me at Nicholas, Nicolas, Lewis, Louis, or 2323 after that, and then at gmail.com. So Nicholas Lewis 2323 at gmail.com. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and having me. Like, I enjoy hanging out with you guys and doing these 8 nights and being spiritual and expressive. Yeah. Yes. You are special.
So we want to say thank you, thank you.
Thank
Jeff.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day or a good night.
IntuitiveBodyandSoul.com if you want to get in touch with us. Everyone, be legendary.